Hello.
George, hi, it's Drewe Broughton.
Oh, Drew. Hello. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry I didn't text you first. I've literally got in the car and I've thought, right, I've got half an hour to call you, then I've got another call at 7:30, another one at 8.
No worries, mate. No worries. Thank you very much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
No, I know what it's like, I've had a few of these this year actually with different people, and yeah, I always try and help as much as I can or give back as much as I can.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Give me 1 second just to set some stuff up,
Sure.
if that's all right.
Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, no worries. Yeah,
Thank you.
cool.
Thank you. Okay, I think that's everything. Obviously, if there's anything you don't want to answer, that's obviously completely fine.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. So let me just first start off. Obviously, you joined Norwich at just 10 years of age. Do you think that was too soon?
No, it was very different back then. It was quite relaxed, there wasn't the academy system in place, so it was literally school holidays up until the age of 14, and then at 14 it was every weekend, but there was a Tuesday evening from the age of 11. There was a Tuesday evening in Hertfordshire, which is about an hour and a half round commute. My mum used to drive me every Tuesday and for a training centre. But nowadays, obviously, at 10 years of age, you're in 4 days a week with games at weekends. So it's a very different thing now.
Yeah.
And I've been an academy coach as well. When I was doing my A licence back in 2012, I took the Luton Town under 14s for the year. So I'm fully aware of the stresses that these guys are under.
Yeah. So where did you get your first taste of first team football?
First team football was at Norwich at 17. I made my debut at. I came on as a substitute at Crystal Palace, and then I played at Wolves the following Saturday and made my full debut.
Wow, but that was that was fun for you. Were you nervous, or was it more fun at that point in your career?
No, I was always riddled with nerves. I was always completely riddled from the age of 12. I remember it profoundly. I'd have real anxiety. I sometimes diarrhea. I didn't know what it was. I just thought everyone's that nervous. But I was the same. I ran national standard athletics as well, and I was the same. I was literally. I know now it's just this pressure I put on myself to win. It's just like nothing else is acceptable. So, not everyone's wired that way.
Yeah. And when you moved to when you obviously got in at Norwich, did you have to move from are you from Hertfordshire and then you had to move?
Yeah, Hertfordshire, and then we moved to Milton Keynes area. So yeah. So I left home at 16 straight after GCSEs. I moved to Norwich and lived with a family. There's a couple of us in digs there. And,
oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think going out on loan helped you or hindered you throughout your career? Do you think it was good for your development or a bit of a hindrance?
On paper, it's great for your development.
Yeah.
But the truth of it is, you better make sure you're supported when you're going on loan. And I know, I manage 8 players today privately. I'm there to be their performance coach directly. So I take calls all day, WhatsApps, voice notes, and I'll be dealing with this all day. Literally managing their emotions through every training session, every moment of every day. So if that support's there, then you can get through it. It's difficult. You're a young lad. You're going on loan at 19. Usually, you're going on to always you're going on loan generally to a club not at the same standard as the one you're from.
Yeah.
So it's difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah.
I think it's a transition really for me. If you're going on loan at 18, 19, the transition to men's football is, if you look at Harry Kane when he was at Norwich, Leicester, Millwall. When I had my first business, he was one of our clients. Him and Ryan Mason from Tottenham, and we were doing biomechanics, human movement. So he was struggling. He was at Millwall. He was struggling. You could just tell. My business partner looked after those guys directly because I looked after the guys in the north generally. But he, I know for a fact there was a big family conference when he came back from his loan spell at Leicester, which was another bit of a disaster. And where do we go from here? Kind of conversation. So it's tough. It's tough.
Well, yeah. Okay. What do you think there is enough in place currently to help young players with these mental health issues and preparing them for the eventually they could fail, sort of?
I think the failure. Look, I think. In a short answer, no. I think the problem, for me, the reason is because the reason kind of I've fallen into this job role for the last 7 years, and I can be as busy as I want to be, is because these guys aren't prepared. I guess the reason I'm very good at what I do is 'cause I'm a very, very sensitive guy. So there wasn't a dressing room, 4 relegations, 4 promotions. There wasn't a dressing room I was in where I didn't absorb every bit of energy from every training ground, every manager, every coach. So I knew how players were feeling. Now, I was an extreme case because I'm a real natural kind of leader type, and I put more pressure on myself than other players. But I know for a fact all the coaches in the hotels I sat in with lads, they were all feeling the same thing. I just felt it on a deeper level.
Yeah.
So, no, they're not prepared. They're not prepared. And I think guys end up surviving the career rather than flourishing.
Yeah. So do you think more... Sorry.
Go on, sorry. No, sorry, carry on.
Well, I was just going to say, do you think more players will be more open about mental health issues now, following stuff like Danny
Well,
Rose?
I think it's all... Yeah, well, I know. I mean, look, Danny, I was sitting with a player 5 weeks ago abroad. I'm doing a podcast series which comes out in May, and I flew over there to record one with him, and he was at Spurs with Danny, and he was laughing. He sat there one night, we were at the table having dinner, he's like, mate, get on this. And he looked at his phone round, he goes, part of the course that is now. I was like, fucking hell. And it was Danny Rose said exactly what he said before that interview came out.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, 7 weeks to go, get on the beach, few Coronas, I'm done with this shit, 6 seasons to go, fucking hate this industry. You know, it was a bit more graphic than the post. But the press have jumped on the old racism one, and it's bollocks. Danny Rose, he's very clever the way he did that interview, but if you read between the lines, he wasn't really talking about the racism. He was talking about the industry.
Yeah.
If you really read that interview, he's talking about the industry. But the current topic with the racism with Raheem Sterling, it was a great chance for them to get another black player to talk about that. But no, I know for a fact he fucking hates it. What does he hate? He hates the lies, the dishonesty, the emotional abuse every day, the people-pleasing behaviours to your face. You get dropped without being told. There's no support. You're just expected to play well or fail. You know, so it's all that stuff that he's just tired of.
So do you think the media helps, or again, does it hinder it? Does it make it worse? Does it? I don't really know.
Well, I think I don't think the media, social media, it's difficult. No, the problem is, and no one's getting to the bottom of it, because to get to the bottom of it, you would have to shine a spotlight on all the coaches in the game, because they are so emotionally unprepared. It's not true. Look, I've done my A license. You skim over. You barely touch emotional intelligence. The pro license, I know many pro license coaches who are emotionally fucked. Literally fucked, and I feel sorry for them. I'm not criticising them at all. I know 2 managers have been sacked in the last 5 weeks who are shells of men. Sick, not well, and they have to go home now to their families, unemployed, struggle to get another job. That's the merry-go-round. And what they'll do is they'll go into and they'll blame injuries, they'll blame board, they'll blame fans. Whereas actually, I speak to lads in both those dressing rooms. They're like, "Oh, fucking Gaffer lost it. Gaffer lost it 8 weeks ago. It's gone, full of fear, shitting himself, not communicating with anyone. Lads were just, everyone's full of fear. No one wants the ball. So, yeah, I think, there was an interview I actually created I pulled it off the TV for a bit of content. Rio Ferdinand sitting with the manager of the PSG manager.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah, Thomas Tuchel, yeah.
Yeah, and it was profound. What was profound for me, I don't think a lot of people will have seen. I don't say that in an arrogant way. I just think I look at the spiritual level of the game, and Rio Ferdinand's face, most of the time, his eyebrows are closed in. He's on the front foot. He's quite aggressive because that's how he survived his life from South London. It's been, I'm fighting for everything I've got. And his face, if you watch that interview again, watch his face when the camera pans back to him after the manager's talking about how he is with Dani Alves. And Rio Ferdinand said he looked 10 years younger. He has light back in his eyes. He has hope back in his face. Yeah. And no one else would see that. It's very subtle, but I can relate to it hugely. I see it in the face of my players daily. Yeah. He's hearing a manager going, no, it's okay to be yourself. These guys are great. I love them. I'm their fan. And Rio's going, I can see Rio Ferdinand's spirit going, fucking hell, finally. Wow, that would have been amazing to be like that. Yeah, there we are. Yeah. So, how is this going to change? It's not, the mental health issues aren't about racism or pressure from the crowd or social media. They're all contributors, but the fundamental one that all the boys, without doubt, all say to me, and we all laugh about it, and the lads love. Some of the posts I do, I always get, the lads will always fucking screenshot it and send it to me going, mate, stay on it. Start naming a few. And I'm like, oh, fuck it, I can't start naming a few. They're going, you're shitting yourself. Come on. And I'm like, But all the boys know, they just want a bit of love. Yeah. Want a bit of, want to be able to share their emotions.
And that's something you can't really ask for as a manly football player. It's not something you're seen to want or need.
And they can all say, yeah, it's changing. It's not fucking changing. If you said to a manager, boss, I'm shitting myself. Well, I know I've got players who I send into the manager to have conversations, and you know, I know how those conversations go.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What advice would you give to players? Well, firstly, players who get released at an early age. What would be your advice to them?
Players who get what? Sorry.
Released at an early age, 18, 19, told they're not good enough.
Well, I'd go back to, I'd get them to sit and think. If I was working with a player like that, we'd strip it right back to 11, 12 years of age, 13, 14, 15, 16, when they probably had a man of the match performance somewhere at 16 and everyone was raving over them. So what the hell's happened? If you can do that, then what's happened? So I biggest advice I'd give would be go back to who you are. Where did it go? Look at where it got lost. Yeah. Did they coach it out of you? Did they put fear on you? When you dribbled, did they tell you to stop dribbling? When you kept overlapping, did they tell you to stop overlapping? Well, fuck them. Just do it. Go and play, and just go and play how you want to play. Yeah. Because all the guys I work with, and I've got mates who are top players, and my podcast series will reveal that they don't respect anybody. They might nod to the manager, but they never listen to what he says. Yeah. They never listen to what he says. And I'm talking like Klopp, and they're just like, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, and you said you said on you've done like a film of your life on YouTube, and you said that probably 5% of nearly 600 matches you were really your true self. Yeah. What would you say to someone in that sort of situation? Is it a mental block, or is it just consistency in front of the right club?
I sat with one the other week who's playing the Premier League and plays for his country, 28 years of age. And he said to me, I'm going to have to leave early today. I'm like, yeah, cool, what are you doing? He's like, I've got, I said, your kids? He's like, no, I've got an appointment with a stomach specialist. I said, fucking hell, are you okay?
Oh, wow.
He's like, no, I've been having these cramps middle of the night, like shooting pains. And I said, what are the physios saying? They MRI'd you? He said, yeah, all the MRIs and stuff. He said, but nothing's showing. And I knew what was going on, but I didn't want to say it to him. And I said to him, do you ever talk about how you feel? I don't work with him on that level. I said, do you ever talk about you? He's like, no. Since, to be honest, like this season, I've been in and out of the team, and manager's just been on me all the time this year. He's been battering me, and it's hard. And he didn't really talk a lot, and I just thought, fucking hell, there it is. Yeah. And he just went, yeah. So I'll see what the specialist says. And he goes, do you think it could be emotion all caught up in there? I was like, without a fucking doubt. I said, where else can that emotion go if you can't release it? It sits in your gut.
Yeah, exactly.
There's enough research about bowel cancer and pent-up emotions. There's some amazing work done. John Bradshaw in America, a therapist, his local cancer clinic, and the link was profound. It was over 80% of his clients had between that and the cancer wards, stomach cancer.
Yeah. So would that be a main bit of advice that you'd potentially give? Is just to talk about your feelings if you feel that way.
Well, yeah, but here's another one. Everyone's talking about this. Just talk about your feelings. Make sure you're talking to someone who can handle it.
Yeah. True.
Otherwise you'll just get covered in shame. My experience of talking about my feelings to people who couldn't handle it I just came away even lower.
Yeah. Yeah, that must be horrible.
Well, because you think you get looked at like I've had that conversation with managers. I've started to open Pandora's box, and they just literally shut me down. No, are you telling me you don't want to play then? No, boss, I'm not. I didn't say that. I'm just saying. Well, do you want to play or not? Because other people want to. Gaffer, I want to play. Okay, cool. Never talk again. Thank you. And this is what I mean. That's why I get a little bit tired, really, of all this hoo-ha around mental health in football, because they're all missing the point by so much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I mean,
you can see that now, can't you? It's a fundamental change at education level of the FA. Right? They should make coaches go through another. Yes, please. They should make the coaches go through another 6 months, a year of therapy work, and actually have to look at their whole. Thank you. Their whole playing careers and stuff, and go through. Because I mean, I've got mates now who are going to go into management. They're just doing their pro license and go and see them. They're going through their pro license and stuff. They'll go into management the next year. Fucking million miles away from being a manager. Can't manage themselves. You know, and we've laughed about it. And they're like, Drew, what? And they'll get jobs because they've had top careers, so they'll get jobs. And they haven't got. If I ask them why they played well, I don't know really. Just happened. I'm thinking, well, how are you going to manage someone who's not playing well then if you don't know how you play? You know, it's like. Oh, it's madness. It's Pandora's box, mate. Honestly, it's gone for ages.
So do you think part of the problem might be that because you're on so much money and you are playing the game that obviously as a child it was your dream to play? Do you think actually your feelings get belittled in that sense? That, you know, come on, mate, grow up. You're on so much money. You're
that's
playing
for
what
sure.
you like to do.
That's the classic response from media and fans. Not so much management and coaches. I wouldn't say they take that tack. That's more people on the outside of the game. But I think, that for sure. I think inside the game, it's slightly different. It's not that one. You're in. What makes football very different from every other job, and I coach in the city now 2 days a week, so I'm in corporate coaching with directors and senior management, two different big city companies, and what makes it very different in football is not one of those guys in the office, even the ones who are earning 500. At no point in their childhood did they sit there and go, really want to be in the city every day commuting. 7 days a week. There's no. Whereas the kids, the first love I had was football. The first love most footballers have was football. So you're in a love affair from the age of 8 with a girlfriend who's going to cheat on you every single fucking night. Good luck with that. And you can't leave her for 20 years.
You can't leave her. You can't.
I was literally laughing about this to one of the boys the other day. I said that is what I've actually said that, and I've done a podcast with Stephen Colker, and Colker's one of my good mates, and we talk about exactly that. I said it's like a love affair, and she is cheating on you. And by the way, you can't leave her. But when you do everything for her, run a bath, make her flowers, when you are absolutely perfect, then she'll give you a little bit back. She won't give you loads back. She'll give you a little bit.
Yeah.
But the minute you drop off it, she'll block you on WhatsApp, won't talk to you, go sleep with 6 other men.
Brilliant. Yeah, I liked your. You done like an ITV thing with Stephen Corker, didn't you? Where you were training him up.
Yeah. Well, that was when I was. Yeah, that was about 18 months ago now. He still had some more rock bottoms to go before he.
Yeah, he's out in Turkey at the moment, isn't he?
I was out there 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I was out there. Yeah, he's in a really good place. Finally, emotionally, he's away from England. He's working. He's free from gambling and drink for the last 6 months. He's working recovery process, 12-step recoveries. He's training hard. He has a couple of starts, but their team's on fire. They're a really good side, and he played at Besiktas away and was man of the match, and all the Turkish press are raving over him. So he'll be fine. I mean that's
a place to play, isn't it? That Besiktas stadium. I mean that might be what some players need. Someone else where there's almost a different culture around the game, a different.
Well, Turkey's insane. He goes, in England it's all micromanagement and You got sports scientists sports scientists with degrees coming out their arse telling you how to fucking behave, and they're like, you wouldn't last 2 minutes in my job, mate. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And out there, he said in Turkey, it's amazing. You get paid a fortune, but they're fuck backup teams. There's nothing. There's your money. Go and perform. So a lot of the lads outsource. I was sitting there with Cisse, the old Newcastle forward.
Papa Cisse, yeah.
Papa Cisse's out there, yeah. He's brilliant. He's a right character. He didn't give a shit about anyone. I was talking to him about all this stuff. I said, he goes, no, I have no regard for anyone in football. He goes, I never listened. He said, even Rafa used to say at Newcastle, you don't listen to me, do you? He said, no, boss, I'm sorry. He said, but I'll score your goals.
Yeah, he's got a blinder at Stamford Bridge against Michael a couple of years ago.
Yeah. But therein the lesson. The problem is these young kids are taken into these academies at 10 and fucking drip-fed this bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, what would you do if you were a player struggling to break into your first team? So like Callum Hudson-Odoi, Phil Foden, they've got the world ahead of them, and yet they can't really get into their side at the moment. What would you do?
Don't know. Couldn't comment. I can't comment because I've never played that level.
Yeah.
You're at two massive clubs.
But I mean, is it good to be loaned out domestically? Is it good to follow the Jadon Sancho blueprint and maybe go abroad? I mean, what is the answer? There seems to be no answer to, hitting your potential, and I guess that is kind of the beauty of the game, I guess.
Well, I look after two lads from top 5 clubs who are on loan abroad at the moment, and at the end of the day, it's quite simple. Doesn't matter where you go over the white line and make sure you're somewhere near your best. Make sure 2 things I say to my boys: run till you can't fucking breathe, and I don't care where you run. If you're left wing and you want to go and close a centre forward down, the right back, run across the pitch and close him down. Watch what the crowd do when you sprint and make the ground up and win a tackle.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, don't ever go under. Like, have courage. Like, don't listen to anybody. If people are on you to get the ball in the box, and the manager's shouting at you and you don't want to put the ball in the box, don't fucking put it on the box. Drive inside and do what you did as a kid if you see something else. But get ready for the bollocking and don't go under. When it comes, put your hand up, say, sorry, didn't hear you, boss, and go and do the same thing 2 minutes later. Because that's what the top players do. They don't listen. Kind of an unwritten rule. So I don't really mind where the players go. It's just be ready to be mentally prepared to go and deliver.
Yeah. And with the players that you do have out abroad, do they have do the clubs have like player liaison officers that check up on their mental health, or is it you doing it?
Not mental health. No one checks up on that shit. They'll monitor their loan progress. They'll monitor whether they're playing. They'll stay in regular contact. Because how do you have a mental health conversation?
Yeah.
How you doing? Yeah, I'm all right. And that player's never going to go, like he said to me, I'm fucking straight. My head's fucking gone. Honestly, like, my missus has just gone home for a week. Why has she gone home? Well, I haven't banged her for 3 weeks. I don't even want to talk to her. I don't even want to talk to her. I'm that low. They can't say that to the guy. That then gets back to the first team manager, and then it's like, yeah, he's not ready. He's mentally weak. Can't trust him.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Of course.
Yeah, you've kind of got.
It's all bollocks. It's all bollocks. All this fucking hoo-ha about mental health in football. Nothing will change.
I mean, I'm gonna have a lot of fun writing that in my dissertation, even though I'm trying to say that it's getting better.
Yeah, and the great thing is my podcast series is going to fucking 2-foot the game, because my first 5 are with 5. Well, one's current Premier League. The rest are all ex-Premier League, but still playing Championship and senior pros.
So is there
anything? Having a laugh.
Is there anything that you would put forward to governing bodies? Anything you would say to go, we are not fucking helping?
I did it in The Guardian. I did a piece with Dom Fifield in The Guardian before my book came out on exactly this. Dom was brilliant. Dom said, I've known Dom for a while. He said, how can you change it though? I said, it's very straightforward. I said, you add another year onto the pro license and A license, and once you can set up an 11v11 and you can coach a diamond and coach a 4-4-2 and a 5-3-2 transition, once you can do all that fucking kindergarten stuff, then let's get into the nitty-gritty of being a coach. Let's dig into your childhood. Let's grieve the losses of your father if he wasn't there like mine. Let's grieve through all those losses. Then when we've done your childhood, let's move into your playing career if you have one.
Yeah.
Let's deal into all those traumas. The times you thought you were going to start and all your family was in the stand, then you weren't even stripped to be on the bench, no communication, running after the game in an empty stadium, playing in the reserves on a Monday, and 2 men in the dog down. let's dig into all that, all your feelings around that. Then let's dig into it, all the affairs you've had behind your wife's back. Why did you do it? Then once you've done all that, then maybe, just maybe, you're back in touch with who you are. But you can imagine how that'll go down.
Well, no, there'd be refusals to take them sort of
Of course,
tests.
of course. So we'll never change.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, well,
you'll get the odd maverick like the PSG guy, and around his Guardiola's exceptional as well. So around their clubs, people will be cool. People will be in a good place.
So do you think maybe a psychologist would make a good football manager in the sense that
well,
actually...
that's another thing. Psychologist. No, because I'll tell you why. Because I say it to the owner of this company that I'm at all the time. 120 staff. You know, and I always say to him, so I coach him directly. I said, look, you have to understand your power. He said, what do you mean by that? I said, if you give someone the wrong look in the morning, they're fucking drowning already. They're already drowning.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I said, if you slightly give them a look to say, and you don't say, good morning, buddy, how are you? How's your weekend? And you're slightly off it, they'll think they're going to get sacked in a week.
Yeah.
No, they won't. They won't. I said, of course they fucking will. I'm telling you now. And we actually got a few in a room and asked them, and it was a laugh, because they're really open, because they know they won't get chucked under the bus. That's the culture we've created with me there. And they say, no, like last week I did a brilliant body of work, and you kind of came by and didn't really say that's amazing. You just went, okay, great. And I just kind of thought, oh, shit, I'm not. So it has to start with the manager and the coaches.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise psychologists, it's all the players always think is, yeah, but what are you know, you're not the manager.
So do you think that actually nowadays, with how business-orientated clubs are, that like the higher-ups that hire the manager don't give a fuck, so why should the manager care? And then does it go up that high, or is it just as simple as getting like a maverick manager, like you said, like Thomas Tuchel, who does care and does actually want to see smiles on his players' faces?
Yeah, but there's not many of those managers around.
Yeah, that's why he's
at PSG or Man City, or there's not many around, because they are mavericks. I guess like myself, I after 1 year taking the under-15s at Luton, I was offered the under-21s job. It's stone's throw from the first team.
Wow.
We won 20 out of 21 matches. I had a sports psychologist coming and do a thesis on my group for his master's degree at Loughborough. Sam's a good friend now. He's a doctor and lecturer at St Mary's in Twickenham. And his findings were profound for his master's. Like, literally, I think 75% of my group, anxiety, pains, can't sleep before matches, vomiting. It was fucking carnage. And then the drop-off of all of those behaviours in the 12 months with me was ridiculous. Schoolwork's improved. Parents are pulling me saying, Drew, thank you. I don't know what you're doing in your sessions. I'm not fucking doing anything.
You used to get into management then, mate?
No, because I was offered the job. I walked out. And I haven't been back in the football club since that day, because while I was getting these results, I was being grassed up by all the other coaches because I wasn't following the syllabus.
Oh, fucking hell.
It was written by the head of the academy, who was my brother. That was going down well. Christmas is a fun at our house.
Oh, mate, I can imagine.
and he's a pro-licence. FA have offered him countless jobs. He's pro-licence. He's managed Premier League academies. He's now in Norway, Norwegian FA, head of recruitment and academy at a big club. Dead as a fucking doornail inside, the poor guy. Came for a fucking, you know, so it's hard, isn't it? It's hard.
Yeah. But I didn't even know this much goes into it. You've really opened my bloody eyes here.
No, that's why I get a little bit. People outside the game haven't got a fucking clue.
Do you feel that?
Don't say that in an arrogant way at all, please. I get quite short because there's so much crap talked by all these journalists and all these fucking gurus and experts.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, do you think that actually vocationally you love your job now more than you did when you were a footballer and you thought you'd love that and actually you didn't?
There is no feeling I've had. I'm 40 now, retired at nearly 33, 32 and a half. There's no feeling I've had in my life since retiring that comes anywhere near the feeling of fucking playing at your best on a Saturday afternoon, playing somewhere near, playing 8 out of 10. There's no feeling that I've had near that.
Yeah.
And it's an addiction. The endorphins that are released are what they've done evidence. It's as big as anything that cocaine will ever touch. So, there's evidence out there. So, how do you replace that? You can't.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of addictions are rife in football, because players all want that next hit.
Oh, and that's the thing. Where do you go after you retire for that?
Nowhere. I have my own therapist. I keep physically fit. I pray and meditate every day. I go to men's group meetings. I get a lot back from my job. I'm a bit of a workaholic in terms of I'm around players. I'm just on the way to West London now. I'm just at a player's house tonight. I'll have dinner and work, and yeah, I'll be around it all night, talking all this shit till midnight, which I love. It keeps me, yeah.
I mean, you do sound like you enjoy it, mate. You really do sound like
it.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. Because you know what I love doing? I've got the energy to do it. At the end of the day, I was a leader type when I was a player. I was a big centre forward, so confrontation's not a problem. So I enjoy confronting the game. I'm in a very, very privileged position in that I'm not looking to get back into the game, and I'm paid by players.
Yeah.
So
the work you do must be good then, yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't just mean that, but it means I'm not beholden to the game like many ex-players. And I'm not. I feel sorry for him because he can't come out and say anything because you want to work in football again,
Yeah.
Whereas I don't give a shit about working the game. So I did a post on AD Boothroyd now. He told one of my young players with England under 20s that he's mentally weak and that's why he dropped him for a game and he had a broken back that he'd been complaining about for fucking 4 weeks in the tournament they were in the World Cup. He complained and he just kept saying, yeah, we scanned your back's all right. Flew back to pre-season with his club in America, fucking broken back out for 6 months. Boothroyd accused of mental weakness. I went on record and fucking said that.
Yeah.
And I know AD Boothroyd ran for the hills.
Yeah, he spoke about he was in the what was it, the Michael Calvin No Hunger in Paradise. Have you watched that? The documentary. Yeah. He's in that, and he's saying that young players getting released and young players doing all that, but for him to then go and say that a player's mentally weak and drop him, and
he had a broken spine.
Yeah, what is that about?
And he said, yeah, but boss, my back, and I can't get. Yeah, your back. He said your back, but sometimes Shay, you've got things in your head, you've got to get through it, and
Yeah. Awful. But anyway, I don't keep you too long. Thank you so much for doing this to me, man. I think the work you do is brilliant.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Obviously, I won't publish any of this what you've said anywhere. This is just for my dissertation.
Well, you can. I'm not bothered.
Oh, thank you.
No, honestly, I'm not bothered.
Brilliant.
I'm genuinely not bothered. At the end of the day, it's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. True. All right. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Thank you. I'll let you go. Thank you so much for this, mate.
No problem, mate. No worries.
Cheers. Yeah. You too. See you later.
Cheers, buddy. Bye.
Bye.